Black Western romance. It's as if this category is non-existent. It's as if these books don't exist. The horse lady is coming. Now you listen here, Miss Horse Lady. This is Texas, okay? Howdy. Hello, hi, how are you? It's a very special day, if you couldn't tell. We are recording this on the eve of Beyonce's revenge. Yes. The second I saw my pre-order, the shipping label was created, I was like, oh, she's coming. The horse lady is coming. So I bought a hat, especially for this occasion. Never worn a hat before in my life. And I've lived in Texas for approximately 22 years. And I'm 22 years old. Never have I been proudly able to show my true Texan. But today of all days, let's just say when that horse lady goes on tour, I will be there. I will have authentic boots. I will have a better hat. And I will be right there in the audience. Okay? Alright? Okay. So Beyonce released her Act 2, a country album called Cowboy Carter. So in honor of that, I've decided, let me find some black cowboy romances and share them with you. One thing I have to rant about real quick is just the fact that Beyonce releases a few country songs, sings a couple of country songs, and then the Hawaii people throw a hissy fit, an absolute hissy fit of anyone who isn't singing country as if weren't a part of the actual creation of country music. But that's just if I say something, y'all gonna jump me. And y'all gonna do a lot more than jump me. So I just find it funny how y'all have all these criteria for what isn't country, but you can never tell me what is country without just labeling any other white country artist. There is a textbook definition as to what country music is, and you're gonna sit here and tell me and tell a woman that was born and raised in the South by two parents that were also born and raised in the South what is and isn't country as she releases an album with a bunch of other people who have previously worked on country music with a bunch of other country artists. Are you telling me the writers on the album for these country songs they don't know what country is? I need you to be so serious. I need you to be so serious because some of these writers wrote your favorite country songs, so I'm gonna need you to be so for real right now. When we look up the definition of country music, it says a form of popular music originating in rural southern U.S. It is traditionally a mixture of ballads and dance tunes played characteristically on fiddle, guitar, steel guitar, drums, and keyboard. At this point, I just think that you from the South, your song has all the country elements. Do I hear a banjo? Can I line dance to it? Okay, it's country music. That's the end of that. And while we're still on the discussion of country music, in honor of this album, I did make a little playlist on Spotify, not on Apple Music. So sorry. I've been using Spotify since Beats Music was sold to Apple. So I'm too lazy to switch over. I'm stubborn. But on Spotify, I have a playlist called Make Country Music Black Again. We have a bunch of artists that were featured on Cowboy Carter, like Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer. We also got Raina Roberts, Breland, Madeline Edwards. The album is currently, as I'm recording this, sitting at 139 songs, 7 hours long. So if you want to go add that, go listen to more black country artists that deserve the recognition, go do that. I'm gonna be honest, I never really loved country music because it was so white, one, but because it was in a genre that I necessarily enjoyed. All the songs more noticeably sounded the same to me. But because I am a petty black person, we are hopping into our country era. And we love to see it, black people reclaiming country. Show them how it's done. But we're here talking about music. We should be talking about books. So let's talk about some books. I don't know if I should keep this thing on the whole time. Should I? It's pretty cute. For something that I got off of Amazon. It's pretty cute. I love the little longhorn on the front of it. Can you hear my accent slipping? Can you hear it? I've done a very good job as to not making my accent shine through when I'm talking. But then I started watching a lot of Ginny and Georgia recently, and now it just happens. I catch myself doing it now, and I don't like it. Anyway, let's get into some black Western romance books. I feel like a main contender when talking about black romance stories or black authored romance stories taking place in a certain type of genre per se. A lot of this video is going to be labeled as I'm giving you recs from books that I've never read before, and I don't mean to do that. I'm just providing a resource for you to find more black Western romance stories, because we know when it comes to a certain type of genre, that genre seems to be majority So I'm just here to help us out. Scrolling on TikTok and trying to type in black Western romances, black cowboy romances was not really cutting it. How come every time I tried to type it in, you kept just giving me dark romance? Why do you think when I say black, that is a synonym for dark? No, we gotta shut that down today, actually. I feel like you can't go without mentioning Beverly Jenkins. Beverly Jenkins books, I know she has a series called Old West, so I'm counting that as a Western romance book despite me never reading Beverly Jenkins before. She's on my TBR, okay, I'm just a slow reader. All of the books mentioned here are on my TBR, I'm just a slow reader. But scrolling on TikTok, the main author that I could find with like a series for black cowboy romances was Rebecca Weatherspoon. If you don't know Rebecca Weatherspoon, have you seen this book titled Rafe? Then you know who Rebecca Weatherspoon is. Rebecca Weatherspoon has a series called The Cowboys of California, which is so fitting for me because I am a Californian somewhat, a little bit. So it still counts. We have a cowboy to remember, If the Boot Fits, and A Thorn in the Saddle, all where the main leads all look like black cowboys. Those were the first ones that I could find while I was searching on TikTok. I also found that one of my mutuals has a romance book series. It has 5 books in it, and the most recent book, I believe is the 3rd book, is called Chaser, where the male love interest is described as like a businessman cowboy. He seems like just a very professional man that grew up on a ranch with horses. And I'm currently in the middle of that one, so it feels like eventually we're gonna get our plus size MC on a horse. And honestly, that's as limiting as it was trying to search on TikTok for a black cowboy book rec. So we went to trusty dusty Google and I searched black cowboy romances there. Harlequin is a publishing imprint that has published a plethora of authors within the romance genre, and when you go on there you could easily search up a category of Western romance. So what did I do? I diligently looked through all the authors that have written Western romance published under Harlequin, and I wrote down the ones that I could find. Authors such as Reese Ryan, Brenda Jackson, Yara St. John, Laquette, Naima Simone, Zuri Day, Nadine Gonzalez, Nikki Knight, and Niobia Bryant. In Harlequin, there's a series called Texas Cattlemen's Club with a bunch of authors in there, and they have a bunch of different volumes. So you can find these authors all throughout there on their website if you want a black cowboy romance or a black Western romance or just a Western romance written by a black person and or with a black female protagonist. Another resource I found was a blog called Women of Color Read Too, where they mentioned a lot of the books that I already mentioned before, like Rebecca Weatherspoon and Brenda Jackson. And they also mentioned Kiana Alexander, who can also be found on Harlequin. I'm not sure for Western romances, but you can find her on Harlequin. And they also mentioned Beverly Jenkins books, but the other biggest one I could find was Romance.io, and all I did was type in black Western romances or black cowboy romances, and it already sorted out African American and cowboys as romance books and listed a bunch here on this website. We have Beverly Jenkins, Brendan Jackson, Shay Rucker, Casey Mills, Rebecca Weatherspoon. It seems like these also lean into that category of black authored romances or having 1 or 2 male protagonists that are black. And I wish I could give more details onto these books and what I could find and what they're about and despite the obvious. But again, I'm a slow reader and it's been a slump month, okay? I haven't. That last reading vlog I posted, that was the last time I read something. I thought I would have more for this video, but I just genuinely don't. But I do hope all this chat about more black country singers being recognized and noticed calls for more black authors to write more Western black romance books. I know one of my mutuals, Miss Tati Richardson, is working on one right now. I see you, Tati, okay? And I'm ready. And I guess that's the video for this week. It was pretty lackluster. Apologies. Have you listened to Cowboy Carter? What are your favorite songs off the album? These are mine. Will you go listen to the country music playlist, to the black country music playlist I made? Just so if you want to go clicky on a clicky, you want to go listen to it. I don't know. Are you mad about the Cowboy Carter album? If you are, I genuinely do not care. Are you going to read any of these black Western romances, interracial romance books? If you are, you want a buddy read? I'll buddy read if you want a buddy read. And I guess that's the end of this video. See you later. Bye. This hurts my head. Do you like my hair? I don't know if I like it or not. Because this is what I kind of wanted, but I feel like I wish the curls started here, you know? But it's not like I'm going anywhere.